Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the past life ponderer herself, Sandy Reevy.
Hi, everyone.
It is episode 367, the week of August 4th. Let's get right into it. In the transits, we start off with Wednesday, the 6th, Mars, ingress, Libra.
Yours or theirs?
Sandy's conflict day, Friday the 8th, Mars, trine, Uranus.
Key to freedom.
Mars opposing Saturn retrograde.
Air your grievances.
And Saturday the 9th, full moon at 17 degrees of Aquarius.
Some truths revealed.
And Mars opposing Neptune.
Lay low, chill out.
And Sunday, August 10th, Mars trine Pluto retrograde.
Wake up early with purpose.
All right, and on the horizon we have our free event, the Italy retreat experience that we just wrapped. You got to watch this recap. It was pretty awesome. Also, we have our Uranus and Gemini webinar recap, our Talisman trunk show coming up September 10th, and our, of course, Tuscany, Italy retreat coming up October 4th. Then in our house, Sandy and I are going to talk about the benefits of regular astrology readings. So stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your stars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you.
Hello, past life ponderer.
I mean, it's all I do. You know, sometimes I used to go up and sit on my deck and read whatever book I'm reading or, dive into something. And it's like, nope. I'm just going into past lives. I can't get enough of charts. So, we just ran that class that you're like, Mom, let's do this. And you can do some past life readings as a bonus. And I had so many people send in their birth data.
It was overwhelming. It was great.
And I was able to, I did probably 8 charts, but then I was only able to talk about 5 maybe.
Yeah, but we had many signups.
I was prepared for. Oh yeah,
so
I was prepared.
You only
were
able to
more,
run 8 out of the many.
Yeah.
But and you are only able to get to, I think it was like 6, maybe the 7th.
No,
was
because
the
I know
last
who
one.
the 7th was, and I didn't.
Okay. Okie dokie. All right, so let's get into it. In the transits coming up this week, we start off the week in the middle with Wednesday, August 6th, Mars ingress Libra.
Let's just listen to how many times we say Mars.
Right. This is, if anything you know about this week, it's Mars week. So that's action-oriented, that is forward motion, maybe a bit aggressive, and fiery.
Except it's in Libra the whole time. So it's more of detriment. It's not so self-starter.
Okay.
Right? So yes, on Wednesday, Mars moves into Libra at around 6 p.m. And, is it yours or theirs? Meaning the Libra part is, the relationship sign, right? It's the balance sign. It's the justice sign, the scales, right? And Mars goes into detriment here because the opposite sign of Libra is Aries. So Mars rules Aries. So he's very fit. All those comments you just made at the beginning right there, self-starter,
right,
independent, got to get his way, is a first, got to trudge forward, determined, all these. But while he's in the place of his detriment, he needs feedback. So he's going to have a little bit more of a hiccup, should we say, of, Mars is like, let's do this. And the partner's going, well, not right now. I'm like, no, we're going to do it right now. And no, we're not going to do that right now. Right. So there's going to be this feeling into
like a little internal struggle.
And so it could be, and he's going to be here for sure this whole week. I mean, he'll be here for about 6 weeks. So it's kind of hey, let's have a heart to heart, hand to hand face-to-face conversation about, hey, Mars is in a place that doesn't allow us to do things kind of separately. But if we agree to do things separately, you go off on your day, I go off on mine, we'll come back and share the information, share the feedback, right? So actually he's here till September 23rd. So yeah, this is about,
that's a while.
Yeah, well, he's, it might be 7 weeks. But once he moves out of Libra, he moves into the next sign, Scorpio. He rules Scorpio. It's his water sign. He rules the night. Scorpio is his night sign preference, right? Where it's kind of hidden, it's deep, it's intense. Okay. So this, we're going to get through it, of course, like we get through everything.
Of course.
This is not one of the harder things that's going on in our world right now. But it may be that we have to check in with our significant other or check in with who is going with you on a event, like going with me on the retreat. So, because you got to sign up now so that you're on board.
Right.
We got a room for you.
Of course.
And we do. Few rooms left.
Yes. Okay. So you named this one yours or theirs. So it's that kind of push and pull,
right?
Of, is this mine? Is this yours? How do we make this work?
Yeah.
All right. So
because Mars would rather say it's all mine, right?
All right. So let's move on to the next day, which turns out to be your conflict day. We start with Friday, August 8th. Mars trine Uranus. This isn't exactly why you're looking.
No, I like this part.
Okay.
But by bedtime, we get into something else.
You're right.
So this is Mars again, we just identified it's in Libra, so that we know that's air, is making a trine to Uranus in Gemini, which is air. So this is air. So this is like key to be free, right? Uranus is about freedom, independence, awakenings, revolution. So all air, so you're able to spread your wings and fly. And sometimes it's just for the fun of it, right? It's that Geronimo.
Yeah, I love that.
Hit anything for you? And so, you might want to be a little careful of whatever this key to freedom is for you, because that's in the afternoon, that's like right after lunch. And then before we get ready for bed around 10 o'clock, we have Mars making this opposition to Saturn retrograde, right? Because so Mars is at 1 degree, so he's coming into a Ptolemaic aspect of 2 outer planets, further beyond him, because Mars is faster than Uranus, making a trine, and opposing to the Saturn. So this is air your grievances. Now, what I like, this is my conflict.
Well, and I'll just clarify here that we're moving on to the next transit. It is very close. So we have Mars trine Uranus in the first part, and then Mars opposing Saturn retrograde. So this is the reason why you called this your conflict day. Yeah,
because it might be that you actually find somebody literally standing in your way, right? Okay. So this is somebody holding you back? Is it for your own good or yours? Right? Is it for their own good or for yours? Identify that first before you activate anything. Because Saturn here is that's why they're opposition. Saturn is in Mars's sign, Aries.
Right. Okay. And Mars is in Libra, which is the opposing sign of Aries.
Right. And
got it.
And Mars is in Saturn's exaltation sign of Libra. So it's kind of like, if we want to talk about this being like the two these are the two malefics, right? Mars and Saturn. It's kind of like Mars was mad and went across the town to, bang down some doors because he's mad at Saturn. And Saturn is over in Saturn took the other route and he's going to discipline the Mars, and they get to their locations and are like, yeah, he's not home. He went to see you. So it's kind of like, how can they manage, work out for the good of both?
Right.
Right. Because that could just inflame them even more anger.
Okay.
Right?
So this is why you call it air your grievance. So this is a good time to discuss maybe those underlying, could be anger filled parts of the way you might feel towards someone or something.
Because at some point, maybe in that movement, you kind of calm down a little bit, or you find it funny that they're not home, something, right? So identify first what it is you need to what's your pissy state, right? Identify it as, why are you angry? Are you just angry?
Right.
Or is there something below? So first identify that before you activate, because you might just be activating toward the wrong person.
Got it. Makes sense.
You might be angry at the gatekeeper who has nothing to do about his owners traveling. Right.
Understood. All right. So let's move on to Saturday, August 9th. We have 2 transits on this day too. Starting off with the full moon at 17 degrees of Aquarius.
So that means that the sun is in Leo, where the sun rules. He's in his domicile. And because this is very interesting. This is a very interesting full moon. Let's think about this. The sun in Leo is about the king, the leader, the president, an important male figure usually, because, So, and it's opposing the moon, which is the feminine. And it's in Aquarius. So moon is the common folk when we look at mundane astrology. It's the common people. And in Aquarius, it's about all common people, all types, colors, religions, sexualities.
Yeah, it's humanity.
It's humanity. And here we've got Mercury is just about ready to station direct. He's with the sun. He's, kind of now coming up as a morning star. So we're now just able to see Mercury coming out of the beams of the sun before the sun. So he's announcing the sun. So he's now visible in the morning sky, because he's about ready to go station direct on Monday. So he joins Jupiter and Venus in the morning sky, coming up before the sun. So this is just, some truths revealed about the leader. This is something about the king versus opposing the common people. So with Mercury coming up, there's some sort of information. The messenger is coming, like an announcement, please, right? It is heralding a written message. So this could be news, this could be television, this could be something that is messaging. So there's so much going on in the world right now about leaders, and there's defraying conversation. Let's talk about something else. I'm just wondering if this full moon really sheds some light on some truths.
Agreed.
That's kind of really all I want to say here.
Yeah. Well, okay. So let's keep going, keep moving on. We also have the second transit of that day, which is Mars opposing Neptune.
This is, lay low. It's an opposition. Mars isn't really strong here anyway. Now he's opposing Neptune retrograde, and Neptune's like, yeah, chill out, dude. Right? Just sit on down here. Take your shoes off. Put your sword down. It's not even sharp anyway. So why don't you just put your feet in the water here? Mars there's reception here. So neither is assertive, neither is really on purpose, nor do they have a set direction. But I will say this. Wait for it. You don't know why I said that, but you're agreeing.
Okay, we're waiting for it. I'm agreeing that we're waiting for it. I don't know what we're waiting for.
We're waiting for Sunday.
Okay. All right.
We're waiting for Sunday the 10th, the next day at 7:30 in the morning.
That was your cue for me to get
Yes.
to the next. I got it now.
Wait for it.
Okay, let's go to the next transit, which is Sunday, August 10th. Mars trine Pluto retrograde.
So now Mars is trining. So air, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pluto's in an air sign, Aquarius. And this is wake up early with purpose. So, right, that whole Saturday evening from about 5 o'clock on, you're like, I don't really feel like doing anything. You may even want to cancel any plans that you had that night because you're just really not up to snuff, up to par.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day is like, now you can wake up early with purpose. Now this has this high energy, high direction attitude.
Mm-hmm. Okay, got you. All right, so let's move on. We also have
Let's throw in Monday for a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Monday, August 11th, we have like kind of a bonus talk because this is so early in the morning where Mercury stations direct.
Finally, it's at 4 degrees of Leo. He stationed direct at 2:30 in the morning. That's why we wanted to bring it up today. So by the time you get our next session,
yay,
he's moving in the correct direction. So we really can call this. And it's in a fire sign, right? So it's ready for liftoff. There's like, there's a burning desire to speak from a redefined power.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if your birthday is around July 27th, this is where your sun is at 4 degrees of Leo. That means if your birthday is July 27th, your sun is at 4 degrees of Leo. And that's where this Mercury is stalling to move forward, right? It has to slow down, stop, go into another gear, and turn around and start moving forward.
Yep.
And so this is July 27th. Babies kind of can have this this revving of motion going. Okay, your gas tank is filled. You can start moving now. And the first time it hit this 4 degrees of Leo was on July 1st. So if you're feeling like, this is the day where I think that on Monday morning you can wake up going, all right, what's our calendar look like?
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's been on the back
shift.
burner? Yeah.
It's the ready for liftoff.
Mm-hmm. Ready for liftoff.
Yes. All right, so quick mention here too, don't forget that we do have a very special sale going on for the personal talisman process. That is, if you use the code CLARITY while you're going ahead and starting that personal talisman process, you get $44 off, which is a really awesome deal. And
it looks like 2 Jupiter signs.
It does. It does. And so if that is something that you're looking for, something to anchor in what your intention and what your focus is, it is a really wonderful way to maintain the clarity and maintain that focus, that internal focus that we can have no matter what chaotic things or events are going on around us.
I just had a client call this morning and she's like, I think I'm ready for a talisman again. And I said, okay, well, we have the universals or we have the personals. And she's like, I'm really not wanting a relationship. I don't need more money. I'm healthy. Like I'm good. Like I don't have a urge. And she said, so you know what I want? I want to just be.
Right.
And so I said, okay, well, I could find a talisman for you that would align to that. That's universal. And she said, no, I want it made specially for me,
right,
on my chart, for me to just be.
How beautiful is
right?
that?
So I was
How
like, bam, because the universals are wonderful. They're great. I hope babies are connected to all these talisman times of all the talismans I have. That's on my upcoming schedule and the ones I've already made. but to have a special energy frequency that aligns with your own, and that's what we do. And that's because it's a little bit more of a process.
Right.
It takes a longer time, but there's more involvement with you.
Of course.
So there's a bit of a, higher
and
energy.
a direct link straight to your astrology
higher energy
chart.
there. So higher energy equals higher energy.
Yes. All right. So, and don't forget, you can also follow along with these transits we discuss on the podcast. Personally, you can download your natal chart at intentionbeads.com/chart, or head over and download the astrology guide if you are brand new to astrology and have no idea what those symbols mean. All right. Let's move into On the Horizon, where we have finished up a few events and we are excited to quick discuss those. The first is, we finished this a couple of weeks ago, which was the Uranus and Gemini webinar that was with Sandy and Susan on our Chatting with the Stars Patreon community. And this webinar was all about this big old shift that Uranus is making into this new sign, and what does that mean, and what has that meant historically for the world at large, for his history, and how has this ebbed and flowed. And these similarities are pretty insane. So if you are curious about that webinar, go ahead, sign up on our Patreon. You can do a free trial and get a Big Dipper membership where you can watch that webinar all about Uranus and Gemini. It's kind of all about creating a whole new world.
We just got into it within the last month.
Right. So also, more recently, we just finished up days ago the Italy retreat experience. And this was all about highlighting what the Italy retreat is about and what Sandy's going to be teaching, which is past lives and guardian angels. So it was super cool. You can't see enough pictures of Tuscany. Just those like beautiful hills and the cypress trees and just the peace that is Tuscany in general. And we got to show
one
pictures.
Of the ladies was just there in spring.
Right. And is already ready to go back. And so this free event was open to everyone. If those people registered, then Sandy pulled as many random charts as she could to highlight and go into a quick shallow dive into the past lives of those charts anonymously. And so if you did register and you weren't able to make it there live to see if Sandy used your chart, go check out the recap, because
you've reposted it.
Yeah, I've reposted it, and you should have already received the email from our newsletter to give you that link. If not, just head over to our YouTube page. So anyway, the Italy retreat experience was super cool, and I'm so excited to hear if those past lives really landed for anyone in particular.
Yeah. And now we have even less rooms available for you to join. Yeah.
Yep. We got some new signups we're super excited about for joining us in Italy, and it's coming up soon. So if you are curious, of course, we want to hear from you. You can get a free 15-minute call with Sandy. And when you do that, then if you sign up, you get a very, very special discount from the whole retreat price. So make sure you schedule that 15-minute call because Sandy will share with you what that discount is. Also, coming up, we have Wednesday, September 10. That is the next Talisman trunk show that Sandy will be hosting. We're going to try and do these a little bit more often because it's a really wonderful time to showcase the beauty and the incredible meaning and intention behind each talisman.
Yeah, and it really, like you just said, it kind of opens up the chart a little bit clearer
Mm-hmm.
with some description. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, you know, people can look at the chart. I mean, even though they can look at the chart because I take a picture of each one and put it up on the website.
Yeah.
But you know, when I can say, oh, this would be a great, like this is the Sun in Leo talisman. Now, all the talismans coming up right now are Jupiter in exaltation in Cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we've got the Sun in Leo, so we're doing some of those too. So those will be the Sun in Leos will be concluded at that time, and you'll be able to look to see what those look like if you're not going to buy them on a pre-sale. We are selling pre-sales right now, and that's been a big positive movement. And I don't know if people know what a pre-sale is once I put it up on the website. It's not made yet.
Right, because you look as a talisman maker, you look ahead and you see, oh my gosh, there's this new moon. Oh, there's this grand trine. Oh my gosh, there's a Jupiter, blah, 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 right? So there's these really big pivotal moments that you as an astrologer, an electional astrologer, will see, and those are your talisman times, right? Mm-hmm. So those are moments where you're like, ooh, I know exactly what I'm going to make. I know what the intention's going to be and the affirmation, because that meaning comes from that moment.
So if a child were born in that exact moment, which I pray to God there is, that would hold that primary potential, that primary nature.
Right. So the pre-sales have yet to be made. However, they are on the site for sale if you wanted to catch them early. And in catching them early, you get a little bit of benefit that you can't do once the talisman is already made, right? So you can help Sandy direct her with color, and you can also help direct a little bit with the
style.
So
large bead or small bead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So the look of the bracelet can be customed a little bit. All right.
But then also I give them the exact time that I'm making the talisman. I get their phone number and text them a countdown.
So that they can be
repeat,
present.
They can be,
with you.
Say in their sacred space at the same time I'm making the beads in my sacred space.
Yes.
And they are repeating visioning the intention and repeating the affirmation just as I am.
Right. So those pre-sales are awesome.
Yeah. I've got one to do coming up.
Exciting.
Sunday. Mm-hmm.
So if you are interested, head over to intentionbeads.com and head to the tab that says pre-sale talismans. Last but definitely not least, I'm also going to mention here that we have the Tuscany, Italy retreat. We've been talking about it all the time, but it's because the time is of the essence. If you are interested in this retreat, it is going to be about past lives, your past life, your current life, what this soul mission is that might even be coming in through your past life, as well as your past and your present guardian angel, because those can be different. And so gaining that relationship with that spiritual being can also help us feel taken care of, protected, and really connected.
And heard.
Right.
And being seen.
Right. And so if you at all are interested in that, in joining us for the retreat, we do have only a couple of spots left. So join in to a 15-minute free retreat call with Sandy, and you can get a very special discount off the retreat price.
And if you know me, it's not really 15 minutes.
And you heard it here. Okay. So let's move into our house where
what's up this week? What are we talking about?
We don't have like a whole lot of personal things going on. I mean,
we do,
but not really like
discussion.
The best conversational things. We have a celebration of life that's happening, but I do want to mention that it is so wonderful. I do love celebrations of life because funerals are also such a wonderful honoring, but I also love it when people call it a celebration of life because it's almost like that little shift of knowing, like, instead of the lack of you're not here anymore and I'm going to be mourning for a long, long time, I like the perspective shift of thank you so much for being in my life. And I want to celebrate every moment I had with you. And I want to relive that as often as I can. I just feel like that's a very kind of crucial shift that we can make when we look at the inevitable of people losing people in our lives. So anyway, I just want to make that short comment, and we're going to be there and supporting because it is, regardless of what kind of mental shift you have, it's never easy to cross that bridge of grief and the agony, but it's always nice to have your family and friends and loved ones around you at that time. So excited to be there as a support system.
It's rarely pre-planned very far in advance where you can, it's really something that you have to switch your plans, rearrange, because the life that was just lived is more important than whatever it is you're doing.
Of course. Yeah. Hands down.
Yeah. And this isn't, I just want to kind of qualify that it's not a family member. It's just he's a relation of one of our relations.
Right. But also like a connected family member.
Absolutely. So somebody important that we're making this trip. Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. So let's see. Let's move into our topic that we did want to discuss and bring to light, which is we wanted to chat a bit about like astrology readings and what is the main difference that you notice, say, between like somebody that just has an astrology reading when there's something that's come up and they really need to talk to you versus those that have regular astrology readings with you. Like you have monthly and quarterly and even annually. But what is it that you notice as an astrologer, the difference between the two?
The attitude of willing and wanting to be a part of their own presence here on Earth, right? So we all have a particular energy that we breathed in at a certain time, place, and date, and we hold that energy for our entire lives. And when that gets some adjustments along the way, to kind of actuate them, right? To understand that, Mars is coming up and making a square to your sun. This is a day that you may want to know because this could be an action-filled day that could actually get under your skin. Like you're going to want to know that. It'll happen once a year. But, your reaction to some of the things or taking advantage of a Jupiter or Venus trine aspect. We live our lives anyway. And, some people would say, why are we running all these emails and reels during Mercury retrograde? So we do, we have to live, right? We have to live our lives. But it's always interesting to watch things kind of change up a little bit, and you have the reason why, right? You have an acknowledgement of, that's why I was to make a decision in that time period, not based on what I thought I wanted, because you're given options sometimes. Do you go high or do you go low?
Right.
Do you go right or do you go left?
Well,
do you
I think
freeze?
Right.
So knowing those dates, and, of course, if you're monthly, if you're quarterly, I just started a new client this morning with a quarterly, and just really happy that she has kind of a direction, giving days of my favorite days coming up or my conflict days coming up.
Mm-hmm. Well, so what I kind of heard from what you were saying is it's those readings that when you can kind of have them regularly, they will compound on each other and help us maybe see patterns in our life, or maybe even act as a little roadmap of, oh, hey, there's a little bit of bumpy road ahead. Start preparing now. Or
right, it's
just
kind of
give
like
you kind of a little bit of a heads up so that you can make your choices on a more proactive space rather than reactive.
It's kind of like Pink's song called Turbulence.
I don't know it.
It's like, this is turbulence. Just know that it's temporary, right? That, I'm dependable and you can count on me. This is just, we're just going through a little rough patch.
Right.
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 So, and that's when we're having a square or an opposition from one of the malefics, or Pluto, or even Neptune, when we don't know what's going on. And so when we can listen and understand the planetary natures, all have a particular energy.
Right. And a big part of astrology is there's this kind of psychological and intuition that is all tied up into it. Because when humanity thousands of years ago was trying to make sense of the human condition and what life is, we also used this system in a way to express that and understand the cycles and the patterns and how things worked. And there was just this language to talk about. And I also feel like astrology is that too. It's a way to express and understand those really intimate emotions and challenges that we have that maybe aren't apparent to even the people that are closest to us. Does that make sense?
And what I think you're talking about is like the mundane, like my mom being 93 years old had Pluto, had Uranus, and had Neptune in a certain area in the chart, because that's where it was when she was born. And now here, let's just use one of her grandkids, like you, and you're born in, 1988.
My generational planets are very different.
They're way different. And sometimes, the older people are like, why do they do it that way anymore? Why is this, why do they act like that?
It's those big generational planets that shift, kind of like the Uranus and Gemini. There's now going to be Uranus and Gemini babies.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And they have, like the baby boomers, right? This is Pluto in Leo, right? I'm a baby boomer. So it's, it goes.
Where's my Pluto?
Yours is in Capricorn.
Ah.
So, and it's just all of these, the millennials and the Gen X's, and I don't even know. We should probably do a rundown on all of those at some point.
Right. That would be cool. We could kind of talk about the generational planets to the different generational people. Yeah, that would be cool. I like that idea. Well, continue with your thought.
No, so it's just why do I choose a job doing this when somebody might look and roll their eyes at what
that's
it is
not even a job, right?
It's like, ooh, I guess you're just doing what you love, but it's just
so. And then I think that,
and it's like it's my nature. It's in my chart.
Right. There's the validation of you being you, and also the empowerment that you can receive from you being you, me being me, and it's just an overall honoring. And that little container that I'm talking about right now is the highlight of our retreats, because it's so funny, because when we get our retreat people together, they probably wouldn't normally say go around together, or like in like a traveling pack,
No,
right?
do you remember the last Greece one where one of the ladies is like, who's been on many retreats with us? She said, there is no way I would have they became best friends. They went everywhere together. They sat next to each other. They were.
And they were the most strange friends because they were like, yeah, no, our paths would never have crossed.
If I saw her at a bus stop or something, I would never have come.
Like, never talked to each other.
I would never have said anything. I would never have talked to her. And we are literally now best friends. I'm wearing things that she said I would look good in, and I bought them.
Right. And so that's what I love about our retreats too, is because coming together and everyone having their own experience, because we're not trying to create cookie cutters. We're not trying for everyone to do the exact same thing. Mm-mm. What we come together to do in the retreats is really just to take a look at your chart and take a look at your skill sets and take a look at your gifts and take a look at your challenges, and then start to integrate that into your life and actually, honor more of who you are and your individuality.
Which is why, because my Mercury is not well placed at all, I laugh about it half the time. So when I say a wrong word or I misspell it or I make up a word, I'm not mad at myself. It's like, I'm a person that I need to live more out into the ethers than to be in the books. Right. Like Mercury and Pisces. Hello.
So
I need to float.
I just think like the validation and the courage to just be who you are, and everyone can interpret a little bit differently their own chart, right? So like I find it so interesting while we're having discussions and in classroom and people are looking to journal more about their experience or what they feel. That exploration is it. That's it. That's what astrology is. That's what an astrologer does, is they look and they make an interpretation of this chart. They take what's like this energetic, intangible thing that cannot be written or spoken, or it can only be what it is. That's exactly what we're trying to do. We can only be who we are, but in that, we still need to explore what that is.
Well, this is, the new client today who is moving more into that for herself, is exploring. And she's, around my age. And I was going over some fixed stars, right? And showing her and she's got this one fixed star, Shadar, which is the queen. It's the queen up in the sky. And I said it kind of is Mary Magdalene like. In the Catholic religion, it would have been linked to Mary Magdalene, and she went, "Hold on, I'm getting goosebumps right now." She's like, "I was just at a retreat, and they sent us in to this shop, and said, go find a saint, go buy a statue or something." And so everybody's found their saint that they wanted. And she's like, I'm looking around. I'm like, I don't find anything. And so she's like, oh, what's this one here? And she looked at it and said it was blah, 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 blah. And when she turned it over on the other side, she's like, it was Mary Magdalene. So she's like, I can't believe you just said that.
That is crazy.
You were born when one of your planets was sitting right on that fixed star. So you embody that. And so again, she was, just kind of the
that validation,
that adherence,
right?
To that even makes it even more magical.
Well, and I want to share a couple of testimonials that we have from past clients, because I think it would help people understand where these benefits can come from and how they can work for you. Lisa says, I've had the honor of experiencing 2 readings with Sandy. Both were informative, very different from any other reading I've ever had. For me, the readings made me look deep within myself to help me move along my path with some of the whys answered. Sandy helps you realize you have choices. Her readings give you faith in yourself and courage in the lifetime you are experiencing right here and right now. I thought that was just so well written too, and just that courage and that understanding of like, oh my gosh, this is the playing field, and I'm an active participant in it. Like, wait, what? I have the choice, right?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And I have
Thanks,
the gifts.
Lisa.
I have all the resources I need. Let's see. Michelle from San Francisco says, I had to sit down to take it all in. I couldn't believe it. Simply amazing. And here, we'll pick another one. This is from G, so we don't know. I was astounded by the quality of information and the accuracy of what you gave me. I gave virtually no input, and you were able to provide information and guidance on important upcoming events that you could not have known about. You have just given me hope. You have completely confirmed that we can control many aspects of our lives by monitoring our thoughts, actions, and attitudes.
Ooh, that's good.
Let's see. I'm quick reading these so I can pick some that make sense. Yeah. Maureen says, not only was the reading wonderfully informative, but it was such a blessing. I am so empowered by the information you shared with me. It was so helpful and has changed my life for the better.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think that what clients can experience, what have experienced, and how that impacts them, I just feel like it just shows the assistance that an astrology reading can give. And also having them recurring is also helpful of just tuning back into that energy and reminding ourselves of the gifts and reminding ourselves of, hey, this timing will not last forever.
No, your natal chart is your natal chart for the rest of your life, but the transits that are continuing and they're all different. They're always different. Right. Because you could have Uranus opposing this and Saturn squaring that all at the same time when that normally doesn't happen. So how do you handle that energy? So we're constantly growing, we're constantly developing, we're constantly experiencing energy upon energy. You know, our energies are coming toward us. How do we experience them? It's through establishing and developing.
Yeah. So if you are interested in booking a call with Sandy.
Yeah, we're opening it back up, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, of course, you're kind of open readings. You are open to one-off readings, which I'm going to throw that link in there as well. But if you are interested in getting on to a quarterly or a monthly, quarterly, or annual recurring astrology readings, we can also do that as well. And I'm going to throw in a very special coupon for $50 off your first month, quarter, or year. So this is a really wonderful time to start, especially if you're kind of in that drifting off into nowheresville. And maybe you just need to come back home, come back to a place where you can center within yourself, within your gifts, and understand more of your choices right now. So, all right, everybody, thank you so much for listening in to another episode with us. We appreciate your time and energy that you spend here. And we, of course, are here if you need us. If you have any questions, don't forget to reach out. I am alex@intentionbeats.com. And we will talk to you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one, you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story of you. The story of you, the story.